After the anomaly of a mid-season, pre-season, new Blues boss Graham Potter can now shape the squad in his image with some new faces. Having already had the unusual benefit of a 6-week period to work closely with those players who were not involved in the World Cup in Qatar, away from scrutiny in the public eye, recently appointed Chelsea manager Graham Potter now has an opportune transfer window to fine-tune his squad. However, a sharp downturn in form before the World Cup break means Potter and new owner Todd Boehly probably have more work on their hands than they bargained for, especially after the lavish summer outlay on the likes of Raheem Sterling, Kalidou Koulibaly, Marc Cucurella, and Wesley Fofana. The question those in charge will need to ask themselves is whether cosmetic changes in the new year will be enough, or whether a complete overhaul is required for a squad that has stagnated in certain areas, one that will likely have to wait until the summer. Enzo Fernandez of Benfica. The man who has emerged as Chelsea's prime January transfer target. The Blues' midfield is in need of a refresh, with Jorginho failing to hit the lofty heights expected of him when he signed and both Mateo Kovacic and N'Golo Kante regularly struggling with fitness issues. Fernandez could be the perfect antidote after his breakout performances at the World Cup, but his showings there also mean Chelsea will have to pay through the nose to get him. Given the Blues' need for an injection of quality and consistency in midfield, a total fee northwards of £100 million may just be worth it in the long run. Just imagine if they signed Jude Bellingham in the summer too. Benoit Badiashile of Monaco. Monaco centre-back Badiashile emerged as a target for Chelsea late in December with the transfer window fast approaching. Although Chelsea reinforced their depleted backline with the additions of Koulibaly, Fofana, and Cucurella following the exits of Antonio Rudiger, Andreas Christensen and Marcos Alonso in the summer, Potter still feels that he needs a left-sided centre-back who can compete for a starting place, and if we're honest, that's fair enough. As a top team that regularly plays three at the back, Chelsea need quality depth in central defence, and highly rated Badiashile, who is already a full France international at 21, would tick that box, while a €35 million, £31M/$37M, fee seems reasonable by modern standards. Andre Santos of Vasco da Gama. Another exciting youngster who has moved across Chelsea's radar is Vasco da Gama midfielder Andre Santos. Blues are close to securing the 18-year-old's signature following a breakout season in Brazil's Serie B. Andre has been dubbed the Brazilian Busquets in his home country, due to his passing ability and the way in which he is able to tackle, be press-resistant and screen the defense, but he even adds something the Barcelona stalwart doesn't: goals. The teenager netted 8 times in 36 games in the recently concluded Brazilian season as he marooned from box to box, and can probably be considered more of a number 8, something Chelsea are crying out for, although the step up from Brazil's second tier to the Premier League will be significant. João Felix of Atletico Madrid. Granted, João Felix's time at Atletico Madrid should serve as a warning. Evidently, the exuberant 23-year-old's playing style does not suit a more pragmatic overall approach. However, though it could be a complex deal for the January window, as Chelsea gradually adapt to Potter's possession-based, attacking style, the opportunity to sign a player of Felix's quality could prove too good to pass up, especially after he gave the world a reminder of his talents with Portugal in Qatar. An unhappy Felix seems certain to leave Atleti in the near future, and Chelsea are reportedly among those interested, with an initial loan deal with an option or obligation to buy in the summer being discussed. However, that future fee could well be very costly as the Madrid club look to recoup the £113 million they spent on the former Benfica man. Edson Alvarez of Ajax. Chelsea turned to Alvarez in the 11th hour of the summer transfer window when they suddenly decided to go in search of a defensive midfield reinforcement. Although the player was keen on the move, it didn't materialize as the Dutch giants didn't have time to find a replacement, and the Blues instead changed tack to secure a loan deal for Juventus' Denis Zakaria, one that can probably already be adjudged to be a failure given he's only made a handful of appearances. The signs are that Chelsea may well reignite their interest. Alvarez had a solid if unspectacular World Cup as Mexico bowed out in the group stage, but there are question marks over the extent to which he would improve the Chelsea squad. Wesley Sneijder certainly doesn't think he'd add much, and he wouldn't come cheap if Chelsea's reported summer bid of north of £40 million is anything to go by. Youssoufa Moukoko of Borussia Dortmund. This a deal that may not be as far-fetched as it first appears. Chelsea need a striker after the ACL injury to backup option Armando Broja, and Moukoko is out of contract at Borussia Dortmund in the summer, with the 18-year-old described as being not close to putting pen to paper on an extension. According to The Athletic, Chelsea are looking to capitalize on the situation by attempting to sign the 18-year-old as early as January, although it could be that they are putting the groundwork in place for a summer transfer. The player himself has said he is focused on the second half of the season with the Bundesliga giants. Moukoko has made 12 goal contributions in his 22 appearances so far in 2022-23, but it is a big ask to expect the teenager to resolve the Blues' goal-scoring woes. He would be a very exciting addition for the future, though. Leandro Trossard of Brighton. An obvious option, but perhaps not as realistic as has been touted. One of the innumerable success stories for Brighton's scouting department, Trossard was among Potter's first signings after he was installed as Seagulls boss in May 2019. The Belgium international found the best form of his career in the first half of the season, scoring 7 times and laying on 3 more, and appears ready for a move to a Champions League club. At the age of 28 and in his prime, you'd imagine it's a switch he'll want to make soon. However, while it has been reported that Trossard is out of contract in the summer, Brighton actually have the option of triggering an option for a further 12 months. It may well come down to when the South Coast club want to cash in and whether he pushes for an exit, but the Seagulls have previously shown an unwillingness to sell their stars mid-season. Arsene Zakarian of Dynamo Moscow. Chelsea's pursuit of talented attacking midfielder Zakarian bubbled away in the background in the summer, with all eyes on bigger-name targets. However, due to sanctions imposed on Russian clubs following the nation's invasion of Ukraine, the transfer was deemed impossible. That said, the 19-year-old's agent has intimated that talks have been ongoing in the months since, and Zakarian has publicly admitted that he wants to join Chelsea. "How could I refuse?" he said in September. "Of course, I agreed. I hope everything will be fine. Maybe in January." Already a full Russia international, Zakarian is an adept ball carrier with an eye for a pass and dazzling technical ability. It's perhaps unsurprising, then, that he idolizes Cristiano Ronaldo. If you like this video, please consider subscribing to this channel,